What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm in these streets. I'm in these pre-work streets getting ready for the work day. So I just thought I would drop a quick video on my thoughts of the trade deadline. Jerry says they're open for business, and my quick preview of the Carolina Panthers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Pretty much, Jerry's come out and said within the last couple of days that the Cowboys are open for business. When this is the time where teams kind of see if they're going to be good or not, and when the next few weeks start seeing that they're not going to be a playoff team or they're not going to be a team that's going to contend, they're going to be more apt to cut veterans, get rid of salary as they head into next year, as they're going to be doing a whole overhaul. So that's what Jerry said that they're going to be doing, right? Also heard Jerry say that, he don't pick up the phone for people. He don't pick up the phone and inquire. If somebody call him, he will answer, though. That's a whole nother story in itself. So let me just stay on the topic at hand. Do I think the Cowboys are open for business? Maybe. I don't really think so. I think he's just keeping everybody on edge, because as long as he's saying that and they're armed with those first-round picks, it's going to keep the Cowboys fan base wanting more. Oh, wait, they still might make a trade. It's going to keep you involved. It's going to keep you tuned in. But I don't see them making a mid-season trade. Skywalker still had a thing, and I should pull it up about the I'm going to try to pull it up right now, matter of fact, while I'm talking. He had talked about the mid-season trades that the Cowboys have done. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Skywalker. Shout out to Skywalker still. But yeah, he pulled up a thing where he was showing the last bit of trades that had happened for the Cowboys like mid-season. I don't know if I can pull it up if it comes up here. If it comes up. But basically, he made a post about all the midseason trades the Cowboys have done within the last, I think, 10 years or so. And to me, the only significant midseason trade or early season trade was Amari Cooper. Jonathan Hankins, I liked him, but the one that was one for me was Amari Cooper when the season was going awry. 2017, you didn't make the playoffs. 2018 was starting off bad, 3-5. I just made the video where you lost to the Titans. That was a game changer. You had to do that, but they did it, okay? I just don't see that happening this year for the simple fact that you got an offense that's humming. You have two legit number ones. You got Ryan Flanoy, your draft pick, who's stepping up. You have Devontae Turpin, who adds that element. Your offensive line is one of the youngest offensive lines in football and probably going to be one of the better lines in the game within the next couple of years. Your backups are playing very good due to your Connor Riley, Clayton Adams, Schottenheimer, really Connor Riley and Clayton Adams really getting that offensive line together, because we've seen other offensive lines coach have with these guys, and we were always kind of frustrated. We don't see that now. So you see an offense that's humming. You see a running game that's one of the tops in the league, a running back who's averaged over like 5.5 yards a carry, and Javonte Williams. Dak is playing MVP caliber football. So on the offensive side, you say, where would they make a trade? Maybe you're talking about a running back when they've been hearing the Alvin Kamara words. I just feel like the Cowboys, that would be something that can happen. I just was on the phone with Boss Cowboys a couple of days ago, and we were talking about he could be had for a sixth, and that could take you over the top as far as offensively. He's an upgrade over Miles Sanders. He's an upgrade over Jadon Blue. You're not going to play the other rookie, Malfa, and so that would be a low-cost rental for you. And I really feel like it would excite your team even more, because you have a veteran who's been there and done that. Now you got a power runner with a slippy back who can catch the ball at the backfield, and he's been around the league. He knows the ropes. That if you're trying to take it to another level, because I feel like your offense is going to have to carry you the whole year. Whole year offense is going to have to carry you. So you would have to probably load up, because I don't see a lot of defensive things in trade that can happen. Also, Akeem Mitchell from the Baltimore Ravens, their season's going bad. They already traded their first round pick and their linebacker over to the Chargers. Akeem Mitchell is not really getting no work. You saw him in the preseason. He was one of my guys in the draft. He come from East Carolina, from Julius Wood, my dog. But he was one of the guys I was talking about when he was coming out of the draft, because was all the way back when I seen him in that preseason. And he adds a speed element. He ain't gonna cost you no money. And you haven't activated Jadon Blue for real until last week. So it's not like it's gonna hurt him. And competition ain't gonna hurt him anyway. He's a 5th round draft pick. You feel me? So put competition on him. So those are the two pieces that I would say, that speed element and Keith Mitchell, I would look at, but they're not going to do it. And Alvin Kamara, but I just don't think they're going to do it. I just feel like the Cowboys will be content with what they have, because they're looking at that offense like it's a tough offense. We don't need to touch it. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, they've already made a trade with Micah Parsons. They got the 2 first-round picks. They got the defensive tackle. The defensive tackle is legit. Kenny Clark, he's a legit player. He's helped this defense, for real. I don't know where you go. People have talked about Trey Hendrickson, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips from Miami. I'm not even going to talk about no Max Crosby. That's not going to happen. Trey Hendrickson, I don't think they would do that, because they got Jadeveon Clowney. And once they got him for the low, he ain't costing no money. He's a good pass rusher. I don't feel like they would go out and get another one. I kind of know the Cowboy way. They're not going to do that again. They got a defensive tackle. They said, we got the defensive tackle. He's helping the defense. We saw the first few games struggling on the edge. We brought Clowney in. We signed him. James Houston's playing better. I feel like they're settled on that front. I feel like they're settled on the front unless there's major injuries. They're not upgrading that front. Maybe a linebacker, but there's nobody out there. I've seen some things about Demario Davis. They're not going to make a trade for Demario Davis unless they really throw him out there, and he's super cheap. But I haven't heard anything like they're just really letting him out there. And once again, Jerry said he don't pick up the phone. He listens. He don't pick up the phone. So you just going to have to roll with what you got. I don't think the linebacker, and they got aggressive in the offseason more than they were in Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy, after that Packers game, that was a lame duck season. They were done with him, so they weren't going to upgrade that team. I said that. They weren't going to upgrade that team. They were just going to leave the team like it was. Okay, bye, and we'll upgrade our new coach. You got a hell of a coach in Schottenheimer. So you went out and got a trader for Kenneth Murray, who not that really that good. Now we see why a lot of people didn't want him, but I ain't hating. You tried. You traded for Kyer Elam, first round. Buffalo said no, and we kind of see why. But I ain't mad, because you were aggressive. You wouldn't pick up Solomon Thomas. I think he's a good addition. You traded for George Pickens. That was aggressive. You re-signed your guys, Osa, Tyler Smith, Deron Bland. You signed Lukey, Ferguson. I mean, you were aggressive. So I'm not going to say that. You were aggressive. You could be a little more if you want to take a team over the top. But I'm not mad at that. But at the end of the day, I just don't see where they're going to take any kind of trades or any kind of things during this season that are going to really upgrade it. They're going to hope for Demarion Overshown come back fully healthy, and they're going to bank on that, helping that linebacking core step up. That's your weak link. They're not going to get inherently better, because Kenneth Murray, you've seen what he is. Jack Sanborn, you've seen what he is. Maris Leofow has more hope, because you don't know what he is. I think I know what Damone Clark is. And then Overshown is really going to have to relying on somebody who's injury prone. I mean, that's your guy. And then when you look at the secondary, Donovan Wilson's hurt, Malik Hooker's hurt. You're finally seeing Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas, which we're happy. I hope they keep them jobs. Play good enough to where those guys don't come back, please. Because they're going to bring those guys back if you don't. The cornerback position, Kalen Carson's coming back. Butler's coming back. I like Butler. You still got Diggs and Bland. Elam, I hope those other guys come back and bring Elam back, and maybe he's better off the bench. But that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't see where it's going to be inherently any different as far as a trade or anything like that. So I didn't want to be too long. So that's kind of my thoughts. I just don't really think nothing's going to happen significantly because of what I just explained. Now, this quick review of this Carolina game. Like I said the Cowboys win the next 2 games. Jets and Carolina. Carolina's 2-3, Cowboys 2-1. This will be a harder game than it was last year. I thought they were going to really beat them up, and they did. I think this team is a little bit better than it was last year, but I still feel like Cowboys win this game, and they still should run away with it. Carolina's defense is better. I think it's statistically one of the better defenses in the league right now. They got some talent. Ashawn Robinson, I believe, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn. They got some decent parts over there. Offensively, honestly, I just feel like they're not going to be able to stop Dallas's offense once it really gets rolling again. And on the defensive side, Rico was talking about they got to see him. Kenny Clark already said, I ain't on all that talking. Let's see. So I'm glad Rico said that. He said that they know about me. I've been there 5 years, but you was 5 years. You didn't really do nothing. Last year was your first year because you was always hurt. And it wasn't like you was a world beater, and I ain't disrespecting Dowdle, but you weren't a world beater in Dallas. Not at all. You were not a world beater in Dallas. You barely got over 1,000 yards, averaging 60-something yards a game. Had to break out 200-yard game, but Miami is playing for themselves. They ain't playing no team defense. They ain't playing like a team. Mike McDaniel's getting fired. That's a lame duck season going on right there. They're playing like individuals. They're playing for stats. So that's why you got that big game. That's not going to happen in Dallas. Not even saying that Dallas is a good defense, but I just don't feel like you're a great running back. You're not a Breece Hall by any means. You're a straight line runner. You had big holes just because that defense in Miami don't care. And you've already had a history with Dallas, and you're talking, they got to see me. They're going, we'll see. Woo. I just feel like Dallas load up the box. Don't let him run. I don't think he's going to get over 60 yards, personally. And makes Bryce Young beat you because he can't. He hasn't thrown for one game. He's only had one game, and he threw for over 300 yards in that game, and that was when they were getting blown out by the Cardinals, and then they came back at the end. He hasn't thrown for over 200 yards in any of his other games. I know Tech McMillan's been playing good. He's got like 24 catches for 300 yards. He hasn't seen the end zone yet, so that's what we got to worry about, him getting his first red zone touchdown. He's going to go to him. Xavier Legette, I ain't tripping on him, but McMillan probably might get his, but I'm not scared of no Bryce Young. I said he's not the guy. He is not the number 1 draft pick. Load up the box, Bryce Young, and attack him. Blitz him. Don't sit in no coverage. Don't sit in no zone against him. Blitz him. Force him into mistakes. Go after him. He gonna make him. I don't trust nothing about no Bryce Young. You gotta attack him and stay on him. Load the box up, and you ain't running. And let's see Bryce Young. Let's see what you can do. But we're not gonna allow you to do that. We're gonna attack you all game. So it just needs to be an attacking game from the offense and the defense, and it'll be a blowout. If they do that, it'll be a blowout like it was the Jets. If they play around with them, they'll let them hang around. But I think they'll still win this game. But I kind of want them to blow the Panthers out and just dedicate to the run game and attack Bryce Young, blitzing, exotic blitzes, attack him. Be a blowout win. That's what I think. So I didn't want to hold y'all too long. I think Javonte Williams has another good game. I think the offense has another good game all around. It can be another 30-point game for them. And they just continue playing. Flournoy, I think, has another good game. I don't think it was a flash in the pan. I think he's going to be the number guy going forward, and he should be the number 3, Turpin the number 4. Mingo the number 5 when he comes back. You should trade Tolbert and look to get another draft pick as you head into these next couple of years, because Dak is 32. You need to play this every year like we're all in every year, because you only got a few more years left for him. But I'll talk about that later. I felt like I talked too much today. Big game, James. Tell me what you think. I'm out. Peace.